What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today I am joined by the very, very lovely and talented Scrybe. Scrybe, say hello to all the McMinions out there.
How you doing, everybody? Nobody calls me talented, gifted, or good-looking. So I really do appreciate that intro. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, you're a good guy. You love some clone troopers. You brought me on for a video back in, what was it, October?
Yeah, something like that. Now, I
Yeah,
can't believe it's been that long already. It's flown by.
I know, right? Yeah, and since then we've got the Dark Side clones. We got the Jedi Temple raid about to drop. How excited are you for that Jedi Temple raid?
To me, new raid content is the most enjoyable content that we get. Now, don't get me wrong, Battle for Naboo didn't exactly land particularly well. I think it's in a much better place now than it was when it first released.
Right.
But all the same, like the theory crafting that we get to do around new raids is the most important part for me. That's just tons of fun.
Right.
So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Are you you got your Bad Batch, your Dark Side clones, you ready to go?
I'm pretty much ready to go. My dark side clones are all Relic 9. I need to take Tarkin from R8 to R9. I'm just kind of sitting on that one.
Right.
Bad Batch are all at Relic 3 right now, but I've got a horde of mats. I'm basically just waiting for Mace to come. Make sure that I can take Mace to Relic 9 and Depa Billaba to Relic 8 and go from there and see what resources have I got left over to push all those teams up into good Relic levels, you know?
Okay. Well, good. Yeah, and how about pirates? How you feeling about those pirates? Because that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video.
Yeah, pirates. I'll be honest, I did not see pirates coming.
What, don't you remember in Revenge of the Sith when Hondo shows up at the Jedi Temple and he's like, "It's Morbin time," and then just starts slaughtering younglings all over the place?
I don't know how I forgot about that moment, you know? I must have slipped my mind.
Yeah, for shame.
They were clearly pivotal in the developments of Revenge of the Sith. And I just, obviously, I drew a blank. It's like when they dropped SME or SM-33 as the Conquest unit, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
And the thing that keeps hitting me is like, when are we going to get some new ships, CG?
Yeah. Especially
for 2 years.
Yeah, if we're getting pirates, we're already getting some ships too.
Like, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Really hope so.
Yeah, but anyways, so in this video, Scrybe and I are going to be talking about pirate characters that we could be seeing as a Conquest unit, because the next Conquest unit is supposed to be a pirate as well, that's going to help fill out these pirate teams for the raid. And over on Scrybe's channel, we're going to be talking about who we could see as a pirate galactic legend, because we know the next galactic legend is going to be pirate, and I'm still struggling to care about the next pirate galactic legend.
I am confused by the direction, but hey, new units and new units, and I'm here for it. I'm on board. We can do this.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So I hope you did your homework, Scrybe. Give me your first option for a Conquest pirate unit.
Okay. Conquest pirate unit let me explain my thought process first before we jump in.
Okay.
We are getting a full era of pirates coming up after we finished off. You know, Depa Billaba drops the game, new era starts after we get Mace Windu. It's going to be era of piracy, or maybe it'll be the era of I Smell Profit or something. I don't know. I feel like, because we're going to get 6 characters, a galactic legend, and an extra Conquest unit, and we've got, 3, technically 4 pirates in the game right now. It feels like we're going to have one dark side team, one light side team for pirates. Now, they might choose to do mixed factions, like mixed alignment factions, sort of like what we got with unaligned force users or bounty hunters having Grief and Mando, for example, mixed light side, dark side. But in my opinion, those are a lot harder to balance, simply because, throw Datacrons in, you got level 3 light side effects that don't apply to the dark side characters, all that sort of gubbins, right? So I feel like we're going to get first is a dark side team, right? Because we've got SME, SM-33. He's the current Conquest unit. He'll be finished in an extra, 2-3 weeks. And that would sort of tie in to the first batch of pirates being dark side. Then when we get the next Conquest unit, I'm thinking light side.
Right.
And that's why I think it's going to be a light side Conquest unit pirate. And for me, the only one that really makes sense, and I believe Arnold was saying that she's going to be a GL. I don't see Maz Kanata as a GL personally. I think she could be a leader for light side pirates, and I think she'd be the next Conquest unit.
Okay, well, there goes my first option for Galactic Legend Pirate. I was going to say Maz in here as the first option for Galactic Legend.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, the way she's referred to as like the Pirate Queen. She's got like the den that all the pirates come to hang out with, being force sensitive, and the fact that you're just like, who all in the universe of Star Wars can be considered a Galactic Legend Pirate? And that's the tricky thing. But so you think Maz, and you think light side Maz, Maz or Maz? Maz cannot.
Maz cannot.
Maz. Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Light side Maz Kanata. Oh my god, I'm not going to get this name straight. Light side Maz Kanata. I don't think I'm even saying that correct. Whatever. As the first Conquest unit. So do you think Jod is gonna? Is that Jude Law's character's name in Skeleton Crew? Is it Jod?
Jod Nanowood. Yeah.
Yeah. You think he's gonna be light side, dark side? You think he's gonna be dark side because he's got to go with Smee? Really?
Yeah. I think it'll be a dark side character.
Okay.
I know we were talking just before we started recording this video series, but Jod Nanowood, his character in Skeleton Crew is actually a really complex character. Mm-hmm. He's actually very interesting. He's got he's got a lot of nuance to him. And I think you could argue he could become light side, but I think in his current iteration, he is absolutely a dark side character.
Okay.
So I personally think that he is going to be, I don't think he would be a GL, but I think he could easily be a dark side leader for pirates.
Yeah, I wouldn't see him being, I would not see him being a Galactic Legend. I do, I think, lead for that pirate team, especially with all that synergy with like the dark side or the pirate leader with Smee's kit. It's like, I was like, okay, there's got to be someone there, and Jod and Smee definitely have to be on the same team. I was kind of figuring they'd be more like, he'd be more like neutral, because we have Hondo with his neutral tag, and I'm wondering if we're going to see more like neutral pirates, kind of like they're working off both sides.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I would love to see more neutral characters. However, I think CG actually needs to go back and rework how neutral characters are coded.
Okay.
Because they just get a little bit screwed.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Because talking back again about Datacrons, like a neutral character will never get the benefit of light side or dark side level 3 Datacrons. And I know Datacrons aren't everything, but there are other interactions that kind of screw it up. For example, I don't know why you would ever want to, but having Hondo in a Ray team, for example, he's not light side, so he's not going to trigger the damage immunity. Having Hondo in, I'm using Hondo because he's the only neutral character. Having Hondo in a Scoundrels team with Dash Lead and Vandor Chewbacca. Vandor Chewbacca will not revive Hondo because he only revives light side Scoundrels. Oh. And he is a neutral Scoundrel, so he doesn't get revived. So what they need to do, in my opinion, is make that neutral tag counters both light and dark side. Rather than being something itself, it should count as either or, so that it can gain the benefits of leaderships and it can gain the benefits of Datacrons without, and I don't think that unbalances the character kit, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing that supports a neutral faction outside of the fact that you can use it in a mixed zone in TB, or you can use it in dark side and light side Geo. So I feel like I'm okay with it, but CG needs to rework the neutral mechanic, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do notice, looking through Smee's kit, is like there's nothing there that says like light side or dark side. It just says like if pirate X pirate is present or something like that. So maybe they are kind of working that in, so you're not based. I mean, Sana Starros is going to be the weird one where well, I don't think you're even going to be using her lead anyways. So that's more with rebels, but like non-attacker, rebel, scoundrel allies, etc., etc. So I feel like at some point they're going to have to rework part of Sana Starros' kit just to kind of make it more piratey. Yeah,
I think when we get more pirate leaders, I think we will probably see a little bit of a touch up on a lot of kits. Well, I say a lot of kits that include pirate tag. Mm-hmm. You know, like they did the similar thing for Hondo when mercenaries became a thing, right? You know, they included a little sub clause in the kit to say if they're, you know, scoundrel or if they're whatever smuggler or if it's a mercenary, it's going to get this, that, and the other. You know, so I think they'll do something similar with the pirate tag, but they're just waiting because right now we don't have a functional pirate team in the slightest, really.
Right.
And even if we had a leader right now, I can't see how they put a leader out that is somehow going to make Nest, Hondo, and Smee and Sana Staros be a functional team. It just feels very weird.
There's got to be a lot more synergy because there's really nothing here. Because I think Hondo's just for like mercenaries right now, if that.
Yeah, he can be mercenaries and scoundrels, right?
Yeah,
but
so there's got to be.
And I assume that every pirate will be a scoundrel, but it's just kind of weird.
I mean, they all the ones we have right now in game are scoundrels technically. So maybe everybody does get scoundrel and pirate, but yeah, we'll see how that all pans out. But yeah, so I'm going to get to my first option for a Conquest pirate. And that's going to be, I'm totally going to botch this name, Sidon Ithano? I don't know if you know this guy.
Nope.
Yeah, let me send you the link to it so you can see this guy. Oh god, he was in Rise of Skywalker for like 2 seconds at the Battle of Exegol. He's got a very distinctive helmet. If you've seen him before, you're gonna recognize it as soon as you see that helmet.
Oh yeah, I have seen him before.
Yeah. I also like him because he ends up rescuing Kix. Yeah, clone troopers. Yeah, I just thought that hey, as important as this guy is and what he does, and I feel like in terms of a light side pirate, I could kind of see this guy being like a light side Conquest character.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean the big problem again is that we don't have a lot of notable pirates, so we kind of have to like scrape the barrel, figure out who we've got here. And I was like, yeah, Sidon Ithano, he gets screen time, he's important, he helps rescue a clone trooper from Count Dooku, or like he's getting the quote unquote the treasure of Count Dooku, which turns out to be Kix. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? Not important enough to be a galactic legend, but I could definitely see him being a Conquest character.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't say I know anything about him, but I've definitely seen him because his helmet does look sick.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like badass. It's like a blink and you'll miss it moment in Rise of Skywalker when they're like on the outside of the those Star Destroyers fighting. You see him like in cover behind some of the characters, and you see his helmet. And that's you'll see him real quick there, but then most of the time he's in like oh no, I'm sorry, he's in Maz Kanata's castle as well. You do see him there. And in the first movie, The Force Awakens, you do see him for a second there in the castle as well.
Is he just chilling in the bar or something?
Yeah, he's chilling in the bar. You get a quick Finn is talking to a pirate, and Ithano's just sitting there at the table, just chilling.
Just chilling out.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. And he has a ship too. So hey, we need some ships.
We are so overdue ships. It's unreal. Like I can't even.
Yeah, I'm just about ready to unlock Leviathan, which means we're due for another Galactic Legend ship.
I mean, that would make sense. You're about to get it unlocked, and it's now going to become irrelevant.
Exactly.
That's definitely the way this game works.
Yeah. What Galactic? I unlocked Jabba, and then like 2 weeks later, Jabba's entourage LSB dropped. I was like, of course it did.
Dude, the same thing happened to me with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. It was ridiculous. And I know Slacker is a great galactic legend, and he was my last one. This was before we had like Glat come into the game and stuff like that, right? So I'd put off farming him for years. And literally, I just finished unlocking him. Yeah. Like, got all the tickets. I took him to Relics. I hadn't got his ultimate. And 2 weeks later, they dropped the Lightspeed bundle for like $10 to get all of his units. I was like, you scoundrels, you scallywags, CG.
You pirates,
I just spent thousands of Kairotex. Oh my god, I was so fuming. Yeah.
I was just side
and that
note,
was like the first brand of Lightspeed bundles we ever had.
Yeah. And look how far we've come with Lightspeed bundles now. It's like every month we get like 20 new ones. Side note, Kix does actually join Ithano's crew. So I'm just saying, Clone Trooper Pirate.
So this is why you want it. You're like, hey, if I can't have more clones,
if I can't have Fox, you jerks, freaking putting Fox in the raid, but he can't give us Fox as a playable character. I'll take Kix as a playable pirate clone trooper. I'll take it.
It's close enough. Close enough. He's still a clone trooper.
All right, give me another Conquest pirate for you that you're thinking of.
Okay, yeah. So I'm now going to flip right back over from what I said before of this being a light side character by saying Maz first time, I'll go back and I'll say it could well just be Jod Nanowood. Because he could just become... Now, I know the thinking. I'll explain my thinking now.
Yeah.
Is I think that the first character that we're going to get, they've said it's going to be a pirate leader.
Yep.
To give the pirates a leadership. I think it's going to be Darkside, and I imagine that when they release that first round of pirates, they're going to give us a temporary leader, kind of like how we got Bastila Shan for Old Republic, and then the legendary was Jedi Knight Revan, right? And he just supplanted her. So I think the first pirate that we get from Marquise is going to be Brutus, who's from Skeleton Crew, right? He looks a little bit like a werewolf. And I think he's going to be a temporary leader until we get Jod at the next Conquest unit. And
this dude looks sick. Sorry, I'm looking him up. Yeah, because I haven't watched Skeleton Crew, so I'm like learning this stuff in real time with you.
He's pretty badass. He's pretty badass.
Dude, he looks sick. I like it.
He operates as a bit of an antagonist throughout the show. But yeah, so I think he will be the first pirate leader, and we are slowly going to get some of his crew as the first set of marquees to make a dark side pirate team with Smee. So it'll be Smee and Brutus, and I think it'll be characters like Gunter and stuff like that. And then he will eventually be replaced by Jod, potentially. Again, I don't think Jod is going to be a galactic legend. I think potentially it could be in the future, but we don't get enough character development right now. So he would be my second guess for a Conquest unit if we were to get... Well, no, we are going to get one. We know that's a fact. Because he's a really, really cool character. I do really like Jod, and I think Jude Law did a great job with him. So
yeah, do you think he'll get like an unaligned Force user tag?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So to follow that up, you think two Conquest characters on the same team? Because you're going to have Jod and Smee together on the same team. You think two Conquests, and you'll have a Galactic Legend on the other team?
Well, like I think Maz will be the next one, but if it's not going to be Maz, I think it'll be Jod.
Okay.
Because he strikes me as the kind of guy, like I said, that's not good enough to be a GL, but is definitely not a marquee in my opinion. Like, I think he is too important plotline wise and character capability wise to just be a standard marquee.
Okay. All right.
That'll be me.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say another one here. You've probably got him marked as a Galactic Legend. I think this is one that's borderline Galactic Legend, probably because again we're trying to like figure out who on Earth could possibly be Galactic Legend. I'm gonna say Gorian Shard as the next Conquest character.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
absolutely. Totally be.
Yeah, Mr. like Timu Treebeard over there with his makeup.
He's the swamp creature.
Yeah. As soon as I first saw him, I was like, is that Treebeard? I was like, what the heck is Treebeard doing in Star Wars? What is going on here?
Yeah.
He there's some nice stuff going on there. I thought like maybe we'd see something with him with like Mandalorians at some point because of how he ties into that show.
Yeah.
But not necessarily Mandalorian, but like something more Mandalorian adjacent.
Well, yeah, that's where he primarily featured. So
yeah,
the connection there makes sense.
Yeah, but it's just trying to think of like notable pirates at this point, and like Gorian's there. You see him in the show. Disney's trying to push the media and everything, so that's why we're getting like Skeleton Crew and stuff. And I highly doubt we're going to see Acolyte stuff. So, hey, why not pull a character from another life? You're laughing and shaking your head. I can see you on camera laughing and shaking your head. I think you're about as excited for Acolyte content as I would possibly be.
I have a feeling that CG is not going to touch the Acolyte with a 50-foot pole.
I don't think anybody wants to.
I just think they think that is tantamount to like, just shooting yourself in the foot. Like,
yeah.
It's one thing to be like, I'm not excited about pirates coming to the game, as opposed to, how dare you release anything from the Acolyte, I think would be the response from the community.
Yeah.
Most people are not a fan of it.
Yeah, but the other thing, too, with Shard is, like, I could see him being, like, a capital ship, like a ship captain. Yeah. Like, he's got a fleet and everything. Like, I would see, okay, pirate lead here, or Conquest pirate character here. You got a capital ship with him. They'll have to, like, fudge it a little bit. Because, I mean, when you compare, like, how big the Executor is next to the Profundity, and you're like, oh, these are the same size, even though the Executor is, like, 100 times the size of Profundity or whatever.
It's massive.
Yeah, you gotta, like, fudge, you gotta fudge the numbers there a little bit. But, yeah, I could see him being a Conquest character down the road, also possibly, like, leading a pirate fleet with his.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, again, I'm trying to figure out who could possibly be a Pirate Conquest character, because, yeah, it's just hard to figure them out. Yeah, anything else you want to add to Gorian Shard?
No, I mean, it would really. I definitely think it would make sense if he was to be like a pirate fleet captain more than anything. I think there's just as much likelihood that we get Gorian Shard as anybody else that we've mentioned today.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you said, we don't exactly, unless we were to dig into legends and all this sort of business and really go down that rabbit hole to try and find some obscure person. The reason I think it's more likely to be characters like Gorian Shard and Jod and these sort of people is because they are more relevant in mainstream Star Wars and have been prevalent in recent shows and comic books and all this sort of business, right? If you start going into Legends, most of the people playing this game are going to be like, who?
Yeah.
You know? But this guy was in The Mandalorian. He was in quite a cool episode of The Mandalorian, in fact.
Yep.
You know, and like I said, Skeleton Crew was very well received. People actually watched that and enjoyed that show and that sort of thing. So I think... yes, it's quite likely, and his entire plotline there was on board his pirate ship. So it's kind of like, yeah, we could get him. The only reason I think it might not be is just because it felt quite isolated. He was only in there for like 2 episodes, I think, 2 or 3 episodes. I can't remember now, which is not really that short, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm not really like thinking like that's why I really don't think he could be a Galactic Legend level character, because you gotta have something a little more important than that. But I could definitely see like something in terms of Conquest with. He was only in a couple episodes, but he was kind of important to the storyline for those episodes.
He was, yeah, definitely.
Give me one more Conquest character, if you got one.
One more Conquest character. I'm like genuinely scratching my head.
I
at this
know,
point
right?
For pirate characters.
I guess
the only person else we could say is maybe we get a re-release of Hondo, a different Hondo.
Brother,
he's the only like notable pirate, right?
I am terrified if they like give us a Galactic Legend Hondo. They're like, hey, here's Galactic Legend Hondo. I'll be like, we can't even use the first one. What are we doing here?
And you wait, he's going to have like Bane levels of synergy, dude, with himself.
It's gonna be the next Han. Here's this Hondo. We got Han and Hondo teams going on here.
Yeah, it'll be the I Smell Prophet team.
Yeah.
That's literally the only other person I can think that might have so much like significance within the Star Wars universe that could be a pirate. He is the pirate that people think of, right?
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't feel like he should be a Galactic Legend.
No, yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Legendary maybe, but not Galactic Legend.
Yeah.
How about you? Any final guesses?
Have you ever played Empire at War?
I haven't, no.
Okay, so there's an expansion to it called Forces of Corruption. And there's this pirate lead that you give this pirate campaign for the Black Sun Pirates in there. Do you know the Black Sun Pirates? So you basically control this guy named Prince Xizor Xizor. He's like a playable character in Empire at War. And I was like, okay, well, like, because we're out of options at this point. Let's just throw crap at the board and see what sticks. So he's got this important campaign with your pirates in Empire at War. He's got his own capital ship, kind of something I'm going for there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's like leads this whole Black Sun criminal syndicate at this point, like the leader of the Black Sun Pirates. So very important pirate character from Legends material. So I don't know if that's something they can even pull. I mean, we've seen like Ian Versio get pulled in from the game. So, maybe it's something where they pull in Prince. Oh God, I can't remember how you pronounce his name. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names at this point. Maz Kanata, I can't even pronounce her name. Yeah, so this is one I was like, screw it. We're throwing a Hail Mary on the third option here. If anybody in the audience has played Empire at War, you guys probably know this guy. You also probably know how terribly overpowered the pirate faction was in that game. And
Nice.
yeah, oh yeah, no, they released that faction and just murdered the Rebel and Empire factions. Of so overpowered. But yeah, no, that was just one I was like, yeah, you know, leader of the Black Sun Pirates. Like, Black Sun Pirates, big criminal organization, Zizor's there.
It's in the name.
Sure, why not? Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the last one I really had to kind of throw out. There's really no one else I can think of that's going to be a Conquest character.
Completely bled dry. But I'm also, like, I don't have a vast amount of exposure to extended universe stuff and Legends content. So, but I also feel like I don't think CG is going to go down the rabbit hole to create Galactic Legends from fringe content.
Yeah,
that almost everybody who plays the game is not going to know.
Yeah,
that's the part that makes this tricky.
Yeah, that's why I don't think this guy's like has a chance at all. But I was like, you know what? If they go into Legends content, I like Empire War. It's not a very popular game, but it's well received. The people who play it. I was like, maybe they'll pull that in. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, I got no one else I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I did have someone in my community, and this isn't necessarily around the Conquest units or the Galactic Legends, make a suggestion that to me was very interesting, but I think unlikely, and that was to actually go ahead and release characters from Star Wars Outlaws into the game. So K-Vess and ND5 and her crew, and potentially even, you know, some of the antagonists from there, and help dive into some ISB content and then go into sort of Andor Season 2 stuff as well. So the reason I don't think that will happen is just because that's a Ubisoft game and I can't see EA wanting to promote Ubisoft material. But if you've played Outlaws, there are some redeeming qualities about that. And ND5 is a kind of cool droid, to be fair.
Yeah.
Did you play?
Are they technically pirate? No, I haven't played Outlaws. I saw the early reviews. And I saw how
really
terrible
pirates. They're more smugglers. Yeah. They're definitely scoundrels, but you could bend the rules a little bit there.
Yeah, you know, they're
and
not.
They're not
in that
game as well.
They're not really rules. Cool. They're more like guidelines. Am I right?
There are more sort of guidelines.
Man.
Yeah, let's get Barbossa and Captain Jack Sparrow.
Dude, that thumbnail I just like slapped Jack Sparrow on in place of Lord Vader when they announced Pirates with a Rave was so perfect. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. We're gonna run with this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all Disney, right?
Exactly.
That's the crossover we need. Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a ship. We'll have the Black Pearl as the next capital ship.
Dude, that'd be dope. Just a Black Pearl just firing cannonballs in the middle of space. I would go for that. It's like
ship, baby. Yeah.
You know, like spaceship. Oh god, what's it called? Like battle spaceship Yamato. Oh, they take like the battleship Yamato and just make it a spaceship. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty dope concept. Why can't we do that in Star Wars? Yeah, let's take the Black Pearl, throw it in space. Give it some engines on the back.
It could be like ethereal when you try to shoot it, and it doesn't matter. The crew could just be on there, because they don't need to breathe.
Yeah, they're all skeletons. They're all immortal. I mean, it's perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. Cursed crew. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. I think we've gone far enough off the rails on this one. Anything else you want to say before we close out this video?
No. Only that it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
As always. Yeah. It's good talking to you, buddy. So we are going to be talking about Galactic Legend Pirates over on Scrybe's channel. Make sure you guys go check that out. I'll have a link to the video down below as well in the pinned comments. Thank you so much, Scrybe, for coming by. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.